So 2-2. Tough one to take, I think. Apologies if you can't hear me because there's music in the background. It's tough because I think we gifted them the 2 goals. I really did. I really think we gifted them to. I think that they weren't the better team by far. I think the first 9 minutes we were outstanding. Said at half time to a few of the boys, I thought we had the awful first 40 minutes, and then when it came down to it, we played some decent football. But my God, there's some players in that team that just don't seem to grasp the fact that this is a North London derby. They don't seem to understand what the game is to the fans, and one of those players for me is Granit Xhaka and Kolasinac. They're the 2 I pick out, and I back and defend Granit Xhaka all the time. But I just don't think that Granit Xhaka tries, and I don't think Kolasinac tries to get back anywhere near as much. And this is just like a raw reaction, if you like. But time after time we were exposed on the counter-attack, and Kolasinac was jogging back into position. Xhaka was jogging. Matteo Guendouzi, man of the match performance, was absolutely brilliant. I thought he was all about the pitch. Obviously, that ball to Aubameyang for the second goal was amazing. But I just keep going back to those 2 goals we let them score at the first half. Like, first goal, gifted. Mistake in the middle, let them have the ball. Leno not pushing it round, pushing it away straight to a player. And the penalty, oh my God. Just hacking players down. I don't really have the benefit of a replay when it's live, of course. But it was so obvious. And everyone around me is getting worried, and I'm sitting there going, that's a pen. It's a pen all day. All day it's a pen. But we came out second half much brighter. I thought Ceballos, when he came on, changed the game. I thought he was electric. I thought he was dynamic. But ultimately, we just couldn't get it done in the end. We couldn't get those points that we needed. And the key thing to take from this is I think we've made the best of a really poor situation. Gifting them 2 goals and coming back shows a little bit of vigour, a little bit of heart. But ultimately, I'm still gutted, really, really gutted that we didn't get the points. Please, in the comments, let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the game, because from watching it here, and I'll tell you something. This seat behind me, sitting here, the classic song comes on. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. So what do you do as an Arsenal fan? You stand up. This guy behind me goes, sit down, mate. I'm trying to watch the game. And literally, he's the only guy in the entire crowd sitting down. And for me, that sort of epitomises the Emirates sometimes. And I thought the atmosphere was very good today for a lot of the game. But my God, it's just the characters like that which I think sometimes let us down. And it's why this place will never be the yellow wall of Dortmund. It will never be Highbury. Like, it will never be that. And that was disappointing amongst other things. But I think that overall we can be happy with a point considering how we started the match. I've been told to leave now, so I'll have to see you again very, very soon. In a little bit. See you later. Bye-bye. We are at St Pancras Station. Trains are a mess. Someone's decided to jump on a train at Gillingham, which now means that me getting home is much tougher. So I'm going to struggle to get back before probably gone 10 probably now. So that's going to be fun. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, obviously still a bit disillusioned with the game. Had a chat with the boys, went and saw Ola, and we both sort of agreed that the midfield and the attack are so disconnected. They're so disconnected. It's ridiculous how disconnected they are, and that's mainly down to the fact that when you play Aubameyang, Pepe, and Lacazette together, you can't play with a midfield of Xhaka, Torreira, and Guendouzi. You can't do it, and I'll tell you for why. Is that you've got a situation where you've got 3 of the best attacking players in the league, and you've got 3 midfielders that are not positive players. They're not players that go forward. They're players that sort of try and deal with the issues in midfield. They're quite passive. They pass the ball well, but they're not the players that make incisive runs. They're not players that drive us forward. And that was actually up to Matteo Guendouzi to do a lot of that, when that's not really his style. And I actually thought he was really, really good. I thought he was brilliant, but it shouldn't have been on him. It should have been on someone else. And that someone else was on the bench and came on. And as soon as he came on in Dani Ceballos, the game changed completely. The game was open, the game was free-flowing. He created stuff, he took players on, he took players out of the game, he turned players really, really well. And it was just really, one, disappointing to see him not start, and two, probably to not see him come on at half-time. I thought at half-time we've got the momentum, we've just scored, got one back, and we didn't do enough to sort of change things. And that was really, really tough to take, and that's one of the reasons why we didn't win. I thought that, and I've talked about it already, and I talked about it in the little raw reaction I did straight after the game, but I just want to highlight again that Kolasinac and Xhaka, and I've now had time to process and think about it, and obviously watch some of the highlights as well during my time waiting on this station in blissful frustration, that why Xhaka dives in on Son is just the most irrational, frustrating and immature thing I've ever seen a player do on a football pitch. I've never seen someone dive in so blatantly since, well, probably Mustafi to be fair, but I've never seen someone dive in quite like that before, and I found that just so petty and so, I'm going to use the word again, frustrating, because it was. There's no other way to describe it other than it was frustrating, and it is what it is at the end of the day. You can't do nothing about it. We came back. I want to look at some of the positives. Obviously, tactical breakdown will be out hopefully, I want to say Tuesday, most likely Tuesday. With work coming back, it's going to be tricky to get stuff and organised again. But I think the tactical breakdown will show the position of Kolasinac on the pitch and how he just didn't track back well enough. It's going to show how well Matteo Guendouzi did. It's going to show how things changed after Ceballos came on. But I think we ultimately left ourselves really vulnerable. We knew that we needed to score, we knew that, but we left ourselves so vulnerable, and that led to Spurs getting in so many times. Sokratis could have conceded a penalty. I'm really 50-50. I think if that's an Arsenal player going down like Kane did, yes, he went down easy, as he always does. But if that's an Arsenal player, I'm screaming for that to be a penalty. So I think we got off quite lightly there. But sometimes that's just the way it goes, and I think that there was chances that we had. I haven't been able to see the opportunity where Sokratis could have been found in the box, so please tell me in the comments if you think that was a foul, because I haven't been able to see that yet. But Maitland-Niles was a bit exposed because Pepe didn't really track back with him, and I thought he was actually very decent, Maitland-Niles. I think he was one of the better players on the pitch. I thought he gave us a lot going down that right hand side. Pepe, just to talk about him briefly, I think that he's got a lot to learn. I think he's going to improve a lot, but ultimately he's still sort of transitioning from Liga to the Premier League. He's transitioning to a completely new team. He had a couple of chances. The header in the first half, he definitely could have taken better. The shot where he dragged it to the right hand side of the goal was a really, really snap shot, and I thought he probably should have gone away from the keeper, not going for the near post but for the far post, and he took a snapshot. He held on the ball for too long on a couple of occasions, should have laid it off. I talked about that in one of the tactical breakdowns against Liverpool. He could have laid in Aubameyang a couple of times at Anfield and didn't, and he probably held on to the ball for too long at the Emirates today. But he will grow and he'll develop and he'll improve, and hopefully he'll do it quite quickly, because we've got a hell of a player if he does. But it's just to sort of sum things up, because I don't want to talk for too long, because I'm well aware I'm talking to myself in a train station. But I think we made the best of a bad situation. I've said that already. Yes, the best could have arguably been a win, and maybe we could have, but considering how many chances Spurs missed as well to win it for themselves, and the fact we went 2-0 down, I think we can be happy. The fact that we managed to come back and score 2 goals after going 2-0 down horrifically. Hopefully we grow. It's going to be a bit hard to take over the international break. I always hate these, especially because I never feel like we do enough the game before the international break, but we'll see what happens. If you're enjoying the videos, please give them a like, please subscribe if you're new around here with those notifications turned on so you can tune into our live shows. But until then, I'll see you again very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.